Good evening, everyone. Welcome to St. Paul's Music Monday. Before we get started this evening, I think what you need to do, if you have your Book of Common Prayer handy, now's the time to go collect that, or you can certainly have a Bible handy. And what I would like you to do, if you're using the Book of Common Prayer, turn to page 91. And if you're using a Bible, go to Luke, first chapter, verses 46 through 55. And basically what we're going to be talking about or listening to this evening is the Magnificat, or the Song of Mary. It is Canticle 15 as far as the Episcopal Church liturgy is concerned, and as many of you will know, it is always included as part of an evensong and is one of the canticles that can be used in a morning prayer. And sometimes we have been doing that during our morning prayer services on Sunday mornings. Now specifically what I want to do this evening is talk about a practice that's called alternatum. And essentially what that is, it's a liturgical music practice that's very old, from the medieval times up through the end of the 19th century, essentially. And the practice of an alternatum is where a verse of a psalm or the Magnificat is actually alternated between the verse being chanted, and then the next verse would be played typically by the organ, so that you have kind of this back and forth call and response almost situation where one verse is sung or chanted and the other verse would be played by an instrument. Now this particular liturgical practice was really more prominent or used in the Roman Catholic tradition. Was very much a common thing, particularly in France, but also in Italy and somewhat to some extent in Germany. And even the Lutherans in Germany would do this practice for certain liturgical uses, canticles. And there was a lot of music written for that, little versettes essentially, as far as the instrumentation or the organ playing was concerned. And as I said, this was very prominent within certainly the 18th and 19th centuries. Lots of music was written by any number of composers. These little versettes that would alternate with the chanted verse of the canticle or the Magnificat in this instance. The practice actually was banned in 1903 by Pope Pius X. And essentially it was banned because obviously you're skipping every other verse as far as the text being chanted or said or read. So the practice doesn't give you a complete sense of the canticle because half of it's not being said, it's being musically interpreted or musically played. So as I say, it was banned in 1903. What I did was I found a German composer who had written, and I'll explain it here in a second, written versettes for the Magnificat. He wrote it in 1893. The composer Clemens Breitenbach was born in 1864, died in 1943. He was a church organist primarily in Osnabrück, which is in Lower Saxony or northwest Germany. And this particular, he wrote a number of these versets, and they're like sets. So they're all, these little pieces are in the same key. He would write different sets in different keys, but that way, if the chant were in a certain key, the verset that he had written would be in the same key kind of thing. So what I did was I found one that I really, a set of this, of his that I really liked. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, and you can certainly say along with me, a verse of the Magnificat, and then I'll play the little verset that was written by Breitenbach, and then I'll recite the next verse, and then I'll play his response. So we will read the entire Magnificat, or I will read the entire Magnificat, but you're going to have little music interpretations between each verse. Now, within the Anglican tradition, of course, we always say the Gloria after the Magnificat. And Breitenbach didn't really compose anything in this particular set. So what I did was I found a short piece of his that is, he named it a Magnificat, that I'm going to play in response to the Gloria, and that will end the Music Monday this evening. One note about this final section that I'll play, this Magnificat, which will follow the Gloria, is that it is based on the Psalm tone number 1. There are a number of Gregorian psalm tones that are used in chanting the Psalms. This particular one is Psalm tone number 1, and it goes like this. And so what Breitenbach did was he took the first 3 notes and composed a short piece around those 3 notes. So when you hear that at the end, you'll know that that's based on the ancient Gregorian Psalm tone 1. So the first 3 notes will be used. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to not say anything else this evening, other than the reciting the Magnificat. I'm just going to let this Magnificat with the music interludes speak for itself. So that will be it. And of course, follow along in the Book of Common Prayer or in your Bible. My soul proclaims the greatness of the Lord. My spirit rejoices in God, my Savior, for he has looked with favor on his lowly servant. From this day, all generations will call me blessed. The Almighty has done great things for me, and holy is his name. He has mercy on all those who fear him in every generation. He has shown the strength of his arm. He has scattered the proud in their conceit. He has cast down the mighty from their thrones and has lifted up the lowly. He has filled the hungry with good things, and the rich he has sent away empty. He has come to help. He has come to the help of his servant Israel, for he has remembered his promise of mercy, the promise he made to our fathers, to Abraham and his children forever. Glory to the Father, and to the Son, and to the Holy Spirit, as it was in the beginning, is now, and will be forever. Amen. Have a blessed evening.